focus. Cash me out in London speaking Polish. Having money on my mind and having money in my pocket. Bone marrow roasted, spread it on the rosemary bread, lightly toasted. Drizzle with the vinaigrette, stuffed Dutchess and it's pulling like a cigarette.
What's going on YouTube? It's your boy. In this episode we're going to be talking about REEF as always, and then we'll be talking about some of the other coins in the thumbnail. So Bitcoin setting an all-time high, Band Protocol, Monero, Nexo, Polkadot and Kusama. So without further ado, let's get into a clip now which explains the current workings and behind the scenes scenario for REEF Finance.
Now let me introduce you to REEF Finance and what we've been up to lately. So REEF Finance, as we call it, is the first cross-chain DeFi operating system, or as we've been lately calling it, it's the gateway to DeFi. It's basically one layer above the current DeFi infrastructure, and it's a user-centric product. Before I tell you exactly what it is and what's the value proposition, I would like to first mention the problems that currently exist in this landscape. So there are three main problems. The first one is the liquidity problem. As we've heard before, there are many wrapped assets, there are many ecosystems, and the liquidity is getting scattered across the space. So there is a lot of fragmentation. So this is the problems that we're trying to solve. You have centralized exchanges, which are silos of their own, and they're prone to hacks, while decentralized exchanges, they have issues with gas. They have unstable liquidity due to the way the market making works in the background. And additionally, neither of them have direct integrations with DeFi. The second problem is the yield problem. It has a very high technical barrier of entry for the traditional average non-tech savvy user. And it's basically impossible for them to keep up with the best strategies and stay well diversified. On top of that, they cannot participate due to the high Ethereum gas fees. So last week it used to be $140 to get into a certain activity. So this is definitely not acceptable. This is not how we can take this landscape mainstream. And the third problem is the general fragmentation. So you have different DeFi activities such as trading, lending, borrowing, and staking. And all of those things are fragmented experiences. You have to go to 5 different websites, learn how to use 5 different user interfaces made by different vendors. And it's extremely overwhelming for the users. And they're basically, they want to give up the moment they start using things. So with REEF, we are aiming to solve these problems. So REEF OS is comprised of 3 main components. The first 2 components are infrastructural components, while the third one is the component with which the users interact. So the first one is the global liquidity aggregator. So we are combining liquidity from centralized as well as decentralized exchanges, and we are abstracting away the need for the users to use order books. Second is the smart yield farming aggregator. This is powered by our analytics engine. I will let you know in a few minutes how it works exactly. And the third one is the smart asset management, and this is the component with which the users interact. So since we are based on Polkadot, the interoperability layer allows us to connect into all the DEXs, basically. And in the background, we are able to create a form of a synthetic order book, which is abstracted away from the users. That's why it's an infrastructural component. So the user does not have to interact with order books at all. The second component, we call it 1inch for yield farming. It's basically a smart yield farming aggregator. As I mentioned, our team has data scientists, and over the past 2 years, we've been working on the analytics engine, which collects a lot of data from different sources, and we extract a lot of metrics out of it. And then we combine these metrics into a very usable form, and that's how the yield farming aggregator is powered. Basically, it scans the DeFi landscape in real time, and it offers the user a way to route their funds to the latest and greatest DeFi activities. It's a fully non-custodial solution, so there is nothing custodial. And additionally, with the REEF token, you're able to further compound your gains. The third one, we call it Wealthfront for crypto. It's basically the component with which the users interact, and for the first time ever, the users are able to get risk-adjusted exposure to DeFi activities through something called basket engine. So what happens is there is automatic rebalancing and reallocation happening based on the user's risk levels. And in the background, what we do as they use the app, we learn from their actions as well as their portfolio, and we are able to offer additional optimization tailored personally for them. All of these three components are tied together with the REEF token. And the REEF pools as well. So the REEF token, first and foremost, it's a governance token. It's also powering our protocol and our infrastructure. Also, like we are planning to have our own parachain on Polkadot, which again connects to the rest of the ecosystem. And one important thing when we were designing this was sustainability. Like there are so many projects out there, and we know that there's a market cycle. So our goal is, how can we make the project sustainable? How can we live through a bear market as well? So when it comes to the sustainability, our ecosystem has multiple income streams. The biggest one being the basket engine. The second is the protocol fees. And the third one comes from governance, which is something innovative that other projects haven't done before, which means power users who are actually interested to getting deeper into the platform are able to leverage the pools, basically the tokens that are staked by the users who are not power users, and then they can. It's basically an improved version of a delegated proof of stake. On the next slide, I would like to explain why we chose to build on Polkadot. So as I mentioned earlier, Polkadot gives us the interoperability layer. With this, we are able to plug into multiple ecosystems, like inside Polkadot as well as outside. This means that just like in the traditional financial world, how over the past 2 decades we've had all of those financial primitives like exchanges and loaning services, how we had fintech innovating and abstracting away, making it easier for the users. That's what Polkadot is trying to do. It's an internet basically of blockchains, and it's very easy for us to plug everywhere. Additionally, we inherit their security model by default, so we do not have to worry for the low level blockchain stuff, and just basically focus on the highest point in the infrastructure. This is some comparison tables. This is the liquidity landscape. You have great financial primitives such as Balancer and Uniswap, but they don't have access to centralized liquidity. They don't have high throughput, and they're quite expensive. You have also others like CoinG, which are not decentralized, and they're also quite pricey. Additionally, you have OneInch, which innovated with their DEX aggregator, but they do not offer access to centralized liquidity as well, and they're not high throughput. So with REEF, the way we are positioned and building on Polkadot, we are able to have all of those things. This is the yield landscape. We have projects like Zapper, great projects. They've really started this whole thing. They've been one of the first in this market cycle, but they do not offer strategy. They do not offer smart routing, and they're not interoperable. Rari Capital, on the other side, it's a decent fund, I would say, because it's very black boxy. While Staked, on the other side, it's not. They're not a very user-centric product. They are more oriented towards institutional clients. So with REEF, we are aiming to bring all of those things to the traditional, non-tech-savvy average retail investor. As I called it throughout my presentation, REEF is basically Robinhood for DeFi. Now with the Robinhood situation, we know what happened. I stopped using that, but actually, if we take a look, Robinhood did a lot of things, and if you create something like that in a decentralized manner, it has a lot of potential to onboard massively a lot of users. So this is our roadmap. We've started. We went public end of Q2 last year. We did our fundraising. So we raised around $4 million from tier 1 VC funds in the landscape. And we've in Q4, at the end of Q4, we went out. We listed on the biggest exchanges such as Binance and Hobby. We are crossing over 600 million fully diluted market cap. Our community has been growing steadily. We have over 20,000 users on our Telegram group and 30,000 users on Twitter. And now we are focused on launching the initial version of the product. We're also introducing a debit card. So it's the first DeFi debit card. So people will be able to spend the yields that they earn through all of these protocols with ease. We've been partnering with a lot of projects from the ecosystem. Basically, we are, as I mentioned again, we are all about composing and integrating on top of the existing DeFi platforms out there. So projects such as Compound and Kava and Moonbeam and Plasm are one of the infrastructure layers that we are based on. A little bit about the team. We are a global team. We are covering pretty much all the time zones. We have people who have been into this landscape for many years, people who have worked for companies such as Parity, as well as BitAsset, one of the biggest mining facilities. On top of that, we have people who worked for ESA, the European NASA, and won bronze medals on world mathematics competitions. So I think the team is the biggest edge of this project. Myself, I've been a CTO of multiple blockchain companies, as well as I've been trader and market maker ourselves. And we have our own market making software completely built in-house. So to summarize, Refinance is the first cross-chain DeFi operating system powered by Polkadot. It has three main components. The first two are infrastructure layers, which is a global liquidity aggregator and smart yield farming aggregator. And the third one is the component which we call the gateway to DeFi. This is smart asset management, and it helps the users get into DeFi as well as get out of DeFi easily.
All right, guys. So that was an interesting clip, and I will keep you guys updated on REEF. There seems to be a lot of community engagement. Not sure whether it's because of KSI or not, but this coin seems to be doing well, so I'll continue to cover it. But looking at Bitcoin here, we did break above 50,000 twice, actually. Once overnight around 4 a.m. and then at around 12 o'clock, so a 6-hour time difference. We are getting rejected, so people are setting up large sell orders, I'm guessing, because it is a key psychological level. So it will take some attempts to break it, but looking at this ascending pennant, which we seem to be in, if we are to sort of respect and break out, then hopefully in the next day or so we should break out of it and head up past the 50,000 level to upwards of 52. My target says it's around 54, 55, so let's see what happens. Ethereum's being kind of annoying as well. It's just trudging sideways. It's not really going here nor there. At the moment we are in this downwards resistance trend line, struggling to break out of it, and we are setting higher lows at the moment, which is a good sign, but I just want to break past 1800. To be honest, it is getting a bit annoying. Looking at Polkadot, so Polkadot as well today made a new all-time high, and it's since been rejected ever since Bitcoin sort of got rejected at 50k level. All the coins are in tandem with each other basically, but what we would hope for is for this trend line to continue trending upwards, as is the 50 or as is the 200 moving average on the hourly chart, and maybe we get rejected again and then we break through it. But we can see in the last couple of days or so that we did get rejected at this previous point now, and I'm just hoping that we do sort of break through it. There seems to be strong momentum on the 4 hourly. We just had a crossover on the MACD, and hopefully we continue to trend upwards. We are in this ascending channel, and we are to the upper sides of this channel as well, which is a good sign. Hopefully we continue to just trudge upwards and upwards. Not much more to say really, other than good gains. So having a look at Band as well, I haven't covered this coin in a while. This was the accumulation phase of a lifetime. Ultimately Band went as low as $3.9 and all the way up to $18 now. So set a new all-time high, and it's coming back down to retest the previous highs as support, which is a very, very good bullish sign. So if you did want to get in on Band now, it wouldn't be a bad time, let's say, because everything is trending upwards. If we look at the daily chart just to give us a better perspective as to what's going on, you can see here nice upwards trend, and this is the most important thing for me here. We came down to this fib level here at the $14.6 mark, and we got bought up, which is a very, very good sign. And this is on the daily chart. The RSI setting up higher highs, the MACD is still in a bullish zone, and even though we have had a pullback, I do expect there to be more room for upside. If there is a crossover, then I wouldn't expect a dump per se. I would just expect some consolidation. At the moment, we don't look too overextended. We've had healthy price growth, unlike sort of here where it was just a bit parabolic, to be honest. Here has been a bit more stagnated, a bit more laddered, I guess you could say, which is a good sign. Also looking at Monero, so if we look at Monero as well, it's done quite well, and yeah, we are once again in our uptrend, much like many other coins. Ultimately, this hasn't yielded the best ROI since the November 2020 low, but there are still gains to be had. Ultimately, I would sort of expect this to potentially retrace to the 21 EMA. So potentially I would expect this to retrace to the 21 EMA on the daily chart, which would be this line here, and yeah, for it to sort of consolidate before then having its next leg up. However, privacy coins we've seen so far haven't really been getting the best ROI, so for that reason I wanted to bring up Kusama. Kusama's been doing fairly well. I cannot complain with the gains that I had when I held this coin, but yeah, we can see here ever since January it's basically done a 2x or a 1x, and yeah, it's continuing to set higher highs. Is basically, it's just a very good coin to hold, to be honest. Strong bullish trend at the moment, big huge histogram bars. Ultimately this will sort of slow down eventually. We have sort of been rejected at this $224 level or so. Don't know how much longer this will continue. If we look at the 2-day chart and the 3-day chart, in terms of the RSI, the highest the RSI has been was in August last year, and it got to a level of around 28.6. Now this is a bit skewed because I have my RSI and my MACD together, but I'm assuming this would be roughly around the 90 plus level. In terms of reaching that level, we do have a bit of a way to go. Currently, this is on the 3-day chart, by the way. Currently we're at the 25 level, so it could go as high as 30, let's say, at a max. So potentially a couple more days of bullish action. I'm looking at Heikinashi, strong momentum, but what comes up, guys, must come down. So yeah, when you are looking to sort of exit this position and get into another coin, you'd want to see some hesitation like here, and then you know that the momentum's coming to an end pretty much. In terms of other coins to watch, I think 1 inch is a very good coin to keep an eye on. If we have a look at it in terms of the chart, it just looks very beautiful. It reminds me of Polkadot a bit, having its initial pump, retracing, and then having the next pump. So for me, my entry would be if we were to break above this level here. Ultimately, I did not partake in here, and yeah, I'm not gonna FOMO in. I'm just gonna wait for there to be a newer high, wait for it to retest the $5.80 level, and then I'll enter. I think that is the most rational approach. At the moment, it does seem to be in a consolidation phase on the daily chart, and that's been that way for the last like month or so, 2 weeks. And yeah, once it breaks the 580 level, then it's time to enter, in my opinion. Another coin that's just gone absolutely ballistic, and I actually feel like a fool for not buying this coin, is Polkadot. So Polkadot is well, you can see for yourself, it's just blasted through all of the fib levels, respecting some of them, but yeah, doing basically a 6x in the matter of a month, pretty much. This coin has been popular because obviously IDO platforms and incubator platforms have been very popular in terms of getting into pre-sales, into quality pre-sales anyway. So you have coins like Duck, DZIM, Polkadot, Pools, Bondly, I believe as well. So do keep these on your radar, but yeah, I'm not gonna FOMO in now. If I didn't buy in here, then I'm not gonna buy right here. It just wouldn't make sense. Just have to wait for another pattern to form, or just wait for a retracement, and I'll get in. But congrats if you are holding Polkadot. I know the Martini guy has been very keen on this coin, And ultimately, if you don't listen to people that have experience in crypto, you do get crypto PTSD. But that's that. Just keep an eye out. Other coins to watch, I would say, are Elrond. Elrond has had a huge retracement. It did get supported at the 0.618 fib extension, which coincides with the 21 EMA on the daily chart. We have had a crossover on the MACD, so I would expect more consolidation, hopefully some support around these levels here before the next level up. I wouldn't FOMO in at these levels, because ultimately there could be another crash and it could go down to these levels. However, I don't believe this was legitimate. I think maybe this is just a glitch. But in terms of utility, Uniswap is another coin to watch as well. Currently, we are facing some resistance at the $24-25 level. If crypto, or I don't believe if, I think it will continue to trend upwards, more people get into the space. And if they are using Uniswap, then ultimately it's the largest DEX known in the crypto space. And yeah, I do believe that would sort of add buying pressure to this coin. Other coins to watch out for are Cosmos as well. So Cosmos has had a hell of a pump. I would sort of wait for the retracement in terms of the sort of the 21-day EMA if you did want to get an entry, but this is clearly in an uptrend, and yeah, it wouldn't be such a bad idea to sort of try get in on a dip, but it is quite overextended, so bear that in mind. Another coin to watch out for is Matic as well. Matic has had a dip and is sort of recovering from its dip, bouncing just above the 21-day EMA. And lastly, we have Nexo as well. So Nexo has just made, I believe, and is making, in the process of making, a new all-time high, depending on what exchange you're using. At the moment, though, I'm unsure of what will happen in terms of the price action. This, for me, isn't really a tradable coin anymore. It's more so a utility token for the Nexo platform. And token of the Nexo platform, due to the high gas fees, they have limited the amount of free withdrawals. So I'll try to put something on the screen now. But there's a tier-based system from 1 to 4. 1 being 1 free withdrawal, 15 being 15 free withdrawals on a monthly basis. So you need to have a certain allocation of your portfolio in the Nexo coin for you to be eligible for those free withdrawals, which unfortunately won't last forever. But it was nice while it lasted, right? If you did want to sort of transition over to a crypto bank that offered free withdrawals, then I believe Celsius offer free withdrawals. However, you would need to do some independent research into that. But yeah, this is a solid coin. I was talking about it in December. I do believe it will go to around $4 to $5 or so, simply because of the utility of it. A lot of people are getting into crypto. A lot of people want to buy altcoins. There are thousands of altcoins, and obviously you don't want to sell each and every position you have to get into an altcoin. So a lot of smart people, or a lot of savvy investors, I should say, are loaning against their crypto, and then they are buying these altcoins, and then as soon as you get profit, you pay off your loan and you repeat the cycle. That tends to be how it works. In terms of the interest rates for Nexo, they are a bit high in comparison to other crypto platforms, but for their utility, it's quite good. They also have Nexo Swap as well within the app, so you can swap between Bitcoin and any other coins that they support, which is a cool feature as well. So bear that in mind. But the best part of Nexo, in my opinion, is the daily compounded interest, which is very, very powerful, especially over time, guys. Over a 1 to 3 year period, it doesn't really make much of a difference, but over the 2 year to 5 year to 10 year period, that is where you start to see the exponential difference in gains. And obviously I'm assuming you're going to be in the crypto space for a while. So yeah, that's been the video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found some value in it. If you have, smash up the like button, smash it up, and I'll see you soon. Peace.